Hi, everybody, and welcome back. This is Creating Consciousness. I am Paige Elizabeth, and today I have my biggest claim to fame. This is Amber Nicole Ortiz, formerly Miller, and she follows me on Instagram, which I think is pretty cool. I have an alter ego on Instagram that we won't discuss today, but welcome, Amber. She is aging gracefully, and she has a skincare line that she promotes and so I wanted to have her and discuss some of her anti-aging and how she ages with grace because this I know is a very important topic to women. And I think millennials and the end of Gen X is getting better at having these conversations. So welcome.
Yes, it's so true. And that for me is such a big deal. Aging gracefully is going to be a part of our conversation as we get older. I am 100% Gen X. I was born in 77. I will be 48 this year. So for me, and I'll be fully honest, I've literally only had Botox in my forehead and around my crow's feet. And I have my lips done like once a year, maybe once every 2 years. So it's been about 2 years since I had anything done with my lips. I actually going through, just like you were saying when we first started our conversation, when you start having these weird like skin textures and tiredness and your hair is different and you're feeling like your hair is brittle, your skin is dry, and what's the answer? And of course, all of our doctors tell us, oh, you're just perimenopause. Your shoulder hurts. Oh, that's frozen shoulder. That happens with perimenopause. Oh, your hair is getting thin. Oh, that's perimenopause. There are things that we can do to combat these things. Most of the time it is actually hormonal. Obviously, I have had major struggles in hormones, and I really think a lot of people, and you're being from Vegas, and I lived in Vegas for 18 years. I know a lot of women who really struggle with fertility and those kinds of hormonal issues. And I'm like, I don't know if it's the water in Vegas or what it is, but it's pretty scary. And I actually have estrogen driven breast cancer in my family. So I can't do
Mhm.
any hormone replacement, which puts me at a huge loss because I know that, I'm depleting in testosterone and progesterone, but those are things that I can't do even if they're bioidentical because I have a chance of getting breast cancer. That being said, I'm really all about all natural everything, right? So when I signed up with Monat, it's a naturally based skincare, hair care, wellness company. And I know that people think it's ick because they're like, it's an MLM or it's a social selling and it's, you're being predatory and it I wouldn't do it if it was that. I wouldn't do it if it didn't work. I wouldn't use it if it didn't work. I wouldn't give it, I wouldn't have my mom as my customer or my kids wouldn't be using it every day and I wouldn't use it every day if it didn't work. And I've been using it now for 4 years. So now they released an entire skincare infused makeup line, which is all I'm wearing. The only thing they don't actually have is the eyeliner that I'm wearing. So everything else that I have on my face right now is all money. So it's incredible. It's something that I know I can stand behind, and it also is effective and it has results. And it actually is multitasking, right? Your hair starts to thin as you get older. Stress is a huge factor. Your hormones are a huge factor. And then the weight gain and the weight loss fluctuation because of our age makes your hair thin as well. So I love that we have a hair thinning defense shampoo, conditioner, and serum that has helped me significantly. Now, I'm not going to say I don't love my extensions because I do them like once a year just to like get a little oomph for, 6 months or so, and then I take them all out. But my hair is so super healthy when I take them out for the first time ever. When I used to use grocery store hair products, my hair would be like barely at my chin and just shredded from my hair extensions. So I literally had to live in
Mhm.
extensions. Um, and then I do a really incredible what is it called? It's called a treatment. Sorry, my brain was like, "Boop, pretty bird." Um, I felt very lost when I moved to California to help raise my husband's sons. I didn't know what I was going to do. After leaving the service industry, I had modeled my entire life. I was like, I need something to do. And I learned how to do this treatment. It's called microchanneling, and it's a bit like microneedling, far less invasive. It is like an hour treatment. You only have 90-minute downtime. For me, this is a game changer because most women don't have days and days of healing time available to them. Like they're like, I don't have days and days and days. So for me, a 90-minute downtime, I'm using marrow donor stem cells, which helps resurface the texture of your skin, fine lines, sunspots, melasma. I've done entire tummy tuck keloided scars. I've done under the breast keloided scars as well, and it completely removes them, does stretch marks. And I just got the hair serum, which I'm really excited about because I'm going to do my husband because I'm like, I know you're bald and I know you love it, but you're like the best test subject ever. And I'm just going to do it and see if your hair grows back. So, those options are, available to you. And then recently, right before I actually had a hysterectomy in September because I struggled. I couldn't get pregnant. I struggled with fibroids. I struggled with polyps. I struggled with cysts for years and years and years. I actually ended up needing a blood transfusion in 2006, I believe. I almost died. My blood count, my T levels were a 6. And she was like, they're supposed to be like at a 16. I'm surprised you're even walking.
Wow.
So, dealing with that, I realized I was gaining so much weight, but I was in so much pain because of the fibroids. I knew like I was going to gain and fluctuate in weight because of this. Once I got my hysterectomy, I went in and got all of my levels tested, and they're like, let's get you on some peptides to help you age gracefully, also to help you with all the things that you're starting to feel, right? Because there are options, and I don't want people to feel so like optionless, especially when it comes to that. And if they can't do hormone replacement, there's other things. So I just recently started taking a copper peptide. It's incredible. It's for hair, skin, nails. It's like an all anti-aging. Then the NAD plus, which you've been hearing lots of celebrities talk about. I inject both of those into my stomach every single morning. NAD plus is again just like an all anti-aging cell renewal, which I love. And then I had gained, goodness, I was up to 159, which I'm 5'9", but my highest, my average weight was always like around 130. So for me, that was like a lot. And I am down to 140. So I've lost, 19 pounds, but I now feel well. Like I was feeling tired and sluggish and heavy and uncomfortable. And I was having the night sweats and all of those things. And now that I've lost that weight, I feel like myself again.
Oh,
I still
good.
have I still have a little bit of the what is it called? Like brain fog. There it is, because now I can't even speak. But yeah, I mean, those are my biggest things. And just like you, I'm an advocate. I really want women to know that there are other options, there are other ways so that they don't feel lost and they don't feel like I need to be medicated or I need to be put on an antidepressant because I kind of did a deep dive into ADHD after being late diagnosed, which almost all women are. We are diagnosed with depression and anxiety instead of ADHD because they think that ADHD is a men's trait, and it really isn't. It's an everybody's trait, and most of it's from our food, right? And the terrible water. So when I did that deep dive into, all of those kind of things that happen with ADHD and then also with perimenopause as you age, you can get into this place where you're like in a spiral. So the peptides have helped significantly.
Interesting. Yeah, I was actually like one thing because I tan a lot, and as you get older, like you'll get those little white dots.
Yep.
And so I was asking Chat GPT, I'm like, how can I prevent more of this? Because I don't want more white dots.
Yeah.
Like I love the sun. Like I mean, I'm a daytime Aries baby astrologically. Like I want my shades open. People who live like vampires, I don't get it.
I don't
But
either.
I love the sun, and it was one of the things that I had mentioned, which I knew, but I was like copper
Yep.
because it protects melanin production.
Yep.
Um, but I never knew that it came in like a peptide form. So I'll have to ask my natural doctor about that because I run everything through him because he'll actually do like a muscle testing to see if my body would even like it, and then I'll proceed. But that I like that idea.
Yeah, it's amazing. I got those white spots too. I'm a Sag, so I'm a sun lover, a travel lover. I love to be out. I'm the person that's like opening every blind in our house. I can't wait to have like, we just bought a house and I was like, we need the most windows. Whatever house has the
Yeah,
most.
yeah,
Yeah, the
definitely.
copper peptide's pretty amazing. And then actually once a week, I get B12 with glutathione, and we all know the benefits of glutathione. It actually is helping a lot with my stressors, which, when you have 16-year-old boy twins, life is stressful anyway. On top of running, several businesses and also helping my husband run his business. So, I love being an advocate. I love, giving ladies options. I love, making sure that they know that they're actually looking into ingredients and they're looking into the benefits of things that they can be doing in their home and, not going the pharmaceutical way because it's it's a recipe for disaster. The reason, that I believe firmly that, the reason I have polyps and fibroids and cysts and all of those things is because doctors were like, get on the pill, when you're 15 and it'll regulate your period, which I never had an issue with my period. It was just this weird taboo that like everybody had to do it. Like they're like, oh, you're 16, you should get on the pill because it'll regulate everything. I'm like, but you don't know. You don't know that you're not regular until you are not regular. And then you're like, okay, I was 100% regular before they did that to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get on that bandwagon. I was suspicious of the pill. I got an IU, copper IUD. That's what
Yeah.
I had for a long time. And then when I had it taken out, I was like, if I get pregnant now, then I guess that is meant to be. I'm not, I'm not gonna bother
You're
with
like, it's happening if it's happening. Yeah.
it. Yeah, because I just didn't want to put my body through anything, more. I mean, the copper IUD, it definitely thins the lining and so that's kind of the one side effect that I've noticed. But other than that, it's pretty standard. Some women can't do it because it makes them too crampy, too bleedy, but like I didn't have that issue. But then when I removed it, I didn't want anything. I just really wanted to kind of move forward and optimize my health as best as I could. And I've always had regular cycles, so it's easy for me to track where I'm at in anything. But um that's crazy that you had a hysterectomy because that can really throw women for a big loop when that happens.
Oh my gosh. Well, and it was scary, like I was hanging on to something also, I'm like, okay, what if I want to have a kid? And I was just hanging on to the idea, even though I knew like possibility was probably not going to happen because obviously I've been with my husband for a long, long time and not like we're safe. And I was not on the pill and it was not happening. So it wasn't going to happen for me. It was the finality of it. And because I'm very competitive and both of my sisters have 4 kids, I was like, oh, like I have to admit that's something I can't do. And it was very, very hard. And it was emotionally kind of a roller coaster, but then my body, like it was a hard transition because, the first week I thought I was invincible because they had me on pills and I've never been on pain pills. So I didn't realize how much it masked and how good I felt. I was like running errands and doing all the normal things. And Tito was like, babe, you need to lay down. Like your doctor said you should do nothing. I'm like, I'm literally going to the grocery store. Like I'm not picking anything heavy up. He's like, you're not allowed to do anything. I paid for it. My second week, when I weaned off the pills, I was in horrible, excruciating pain. My doctor gave me no aftercare instructions, like binding my stomach, which would have helped significantly, knowing that and doing it from day one. I just inherently was like, something's wrong. I need to like, so I started wearing my workout band around my stomach because I was like, oh, like it just feels better to have compression. And I did a story on my social media, and all the women were like, oh my God, they're supposed to send you home with a compression band and all of these things. And I was like, oh, wonderful. I'm so glad that, like, I know my body so well that I was like, this is not, it doesn't feel right. Like, I need some kind of like something to hold me in place.
Wow.
Yeah, that was hard. September, by the end of September, I started to feel a little more normal. November was when I noticed that I was, very like up and down hormonally. Like my hormones were really trying to like figure out where they were, and the pain, was just strange. Like it was just a dull, like nervy pain because what they do is they take your, because I didn't get my fallopian tubes taken out I had them, they actually sew them to the interior of your, like on the backside of your abs. So I could feel like those little nerves firing for like a good probably 2 months, which was really strange. And also being intimate was not the same for a while because it's just, it changes everything. It changes what's in that area, whole organism is,
Yeah.
and now everything sort of falls into that space. So, I want to be somebody who's really honest about that. And I told my hysterectomy story because I'm like, no one talks about it. No one talks about like the things you're going to go through and, the different pain and, the medication and what to expect. And because nobody really like, I mean, I know when I was in my 30s, none of my older friends told me about them being in perimenopause. Like they never told me about like having hot flashes and weight gain and exhaustion and, frozen shoulder and all these crazy things that you go through. And then also your hormones are just like so all over the place. And once you figure out like where you're at and what works and what doesn't work, then you feel like a whole person again.
Oh yeah. Nobody was having these conversations.
No.
Nobody. I mean, I remember when I started my period and my sister helped me. My mom was useless. Like no one from that generation discusses anything.
Yeah.
It's like what? And I like to really help women because I mean, first of all, like the fact that they let you down so badly is just such an example of so many examples of how women don't get treated properly. But like I was just talking to one of my girlfriends and I actually, so one thing that I've struggled with my whole life actually is like premenstrual fatigue. But that's something I've dealt with literally since I was a teenager. And I just had biomagnetic therapy. And I said, yeah, I'm about to start and I'm just tired. And she was like, oh, you must be in perimenopause. And I was like, well, I don't know. I've had the symptoms since I was a teenager, so I don't know. But I just was like, why? If you breathe funny all of a sudden, it's like, oh, you're at that age. And it's just a label. It's not a solution, it's a label.
Yeah.
And it's a really, I think, offensive one because it's like that doesn't tell you anything. It's just to kind of shut you up and shut you down. And I'm not okay with that. And
Oh, yeah. Well, and they don't prepare you for anything. So they're
oh,
basically like, well, this is just what happens to women. Good luck. Like, on
exactly.
your way, on your way.
Well, and I had a rough 6 months when I turned 40 because I was trying to use old diet habits and then incorporate heavy lifting and I destroyed my adrenals and then I was like, oh, they were like, we must be in perimenopause. I go to my natural doctor and he was like, no, your adrenals are tanked. Like, and we fixed my adrenals and I was fine. And I was like, how many women are being just either labeled or misdiagnosed or being told they're old or and now like I never would have put that together. And it's funny because I did yoga for 22 years and you
Yeah.
can get away with any diet when you do yoga. You lift heavy, you better be prepared nutritionally or you
Oh,
will hurt yourself.
oh,
It's
big
a,
time.
it's
Oh,
a
big
different
time.
world.
Well, and they like, even when you start to gain weight and you don't know, it's like you're like, I'm working out, and then you start to cut your intake and diet, and you are literally your worst enemy is because you're like, okay, I'm just gonna work out harder, I'm just gonna eat less, and just have enough protein to get me through the day. And you're literally destroying your body. Like you're destroying your own adrenals, you're destroying your own metabolism. And I did that. Like when I got here and they tested me, he's like, how much do you eat? And I'm like, maybe 2 meals. Like I have a protein shake in the morning and then I have dinner. He's like, why? I go, I
Yeah.
don't know. Because I'm like, because I'm 159 pounds and I'm freaking out because the heaviest I've ever been was when I got my boobs done and I was 145 pounds. Like it's a lot more. And I'm like, well, nothing fits. Like I was like, I don't want to go in my closet. I'm gonna do is wear workout clothes every day because it's stretchy and it's comfortable. And I'm like, but I don't want to be that person. I love dressing up and feeling
Yeah.
pretty. And it's so devastating again because they categorize us and they do the same like this is not the first doctor to let me down. And that's what's so scary is I really thought, I mean, this doctor had the best reviews. I had multiple, women say, oh, they went to him, blah, blah, blah. And then I had a woman who had her hysterectomy the same day as me, right before me. Hers was scheduled right before mine. And she went through all the same things as me. No one told her anything. No one told her about compression. So we just like buddied together. But I was like, this is not the first time the medical field has like let me down. When I lived in California, I got a fibroid removal because I was like in excruciating pain. My fibroids grow pretty fast. Like even when I got my hysterectomy, I had a 5 centimeter fibroid and I had five 1 centimeter fibroids. So I had six in there. I couldn't even sit on a hard surface. Like it hurt. Like I could like sitting for too long, like going to my boys' wrestling tournaments, I was like, I can't sit this whole time. Like I got to go stand and walk around. Like I'm so uncomfortable. So I went to go have it removed in California and doctor went in, told me she's going to take care of it and then didn't see me after the procedure. My husband comes in. He's like, he was the first person I saw. They're like, you can go home. She calls me the next day and leaves a voice message and was like, so your surgery went really well. However, I found another one in there that I didn't see originally on your intrauterine, what is it called when you do the baby thing? I'm like, it's the when they look inside your belly, but it's in
The ultrasound?
yes, ultrasound. So it's an intrauterine ultrasound. And she said, but now that I look back at it, I do see that second one. And she goes, but I tried to get rid of it and the device broke while I was trying to take it out. So she's like, so you can make another appointment for another surgery. And I was like, excuse me? Like, no, I can't wait to not have another surgery by you so that you can not have a backup device. I'm like so confused at like oh, my grandma was so mad. She was like, you're going to write letters and you're going to do it. And I'm like, yeah, like I'm like, grandma, it's just how things are. Unfortunately, like it's not like the days when, your doctor was your whole family's doctor and they were responsible. These doctors sort of just rush you through and they just bank on the fact that you have insurance and you'll just schedule another one.
I have a friend who actually, I saw her and I was like, you've slimmed down. What happened to you? Because she was always heavy as long as I'd known her. And she goes, I had abdominal pain ever since I had my daughter. I had her C-section. I've had permanent abdominal pain, swelling, and weight gain. Finally went in when they did the C-section, they left something in there. And for 15 years,
Yeah.
you couldn't even like hit the table without being excruciating pain. And they finally went in and they had to clear out. And they cleared out, I don't know what was left in there because there was so much scar tissue around it, but they
Oh,
cleared it out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like that is horrific. And she had
and it's
complained
malpractice,
about
but
it.
like, yeah, but she couldn't sue because after 2 years, you can't sue for malpractice. So, like good luck. And I feel like they bank on that. Like it's just, it really is sad because the medical field does I mean, there are a lot of wonderful people in the medical field, but there are a lot of opportunist people who are in there for the money and they're just getting things done and they're scheduling as many as they can so that they can get through the day. It's really hard, and especially for women. I think that, well, I know that women get the short end of the stick, especially in medical care, and we have more issues than men, 100%. We're going to see the doctor more. We're doing, the annuals and we're doing the breast exams and we're doing, the pregnancy or we're doing whatever it is. And, we are just pushed off as, oh, you're just hormonal. Oh, it's just this. Oh, it's just perimenopause. Like, I believe that since my hysterectomy that I'm fully in menopause now. I'm thankful that my night sweats are gone because those were like pretty freaking miserable. And then the weight gain, I just have to, keep it managed, but I'm making sure that I'm eating throughout the day. When I'm hungry, I eat something and I'm just thoughtful of like my protein intake. I'm like, okay, I gotta eat enough protein, but I also need carbs so that my brain can work.
Are you lifting?
I'm lifting. I love Pilates. Pilates is like my jam. And then I work out at Hot Works, which is the hot sauna. And they have some really great hit areas. And then they do like a hot yoga or a hot stretching. So I do that also. I love that kind of workout. I used to lift really hard in the gym. Now more so I just, I use Pilates for that, and then I'll do a couple of weights when I do the HIIT workouts at the Hot Works. So
Yeah, I got into lifting. I didn't realize, and I'm like, I wish I had started this 20 years ago, but it's actually one of the best ways to combat the insulin resistance that happens with age.
yeah.
Like, it's because and it's weird because I was an acrobat, so I had all kinds of wicked strength. Now I can't. I'm like, I gave up pull-ups for 6 months and now I can't do shit, even though I'm lifting hard and heavy and I have these amazing muscles. They're really just for show. Um, but they suck up all of the glucose and turn it into glycogen. And so like I've never been more insulin sensitive, and that is amazing to me. So if you find that it gets a little tough, just start picking up some weights and it will suck up that sugar so fast.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it's just so sad the way that that we are so, like I said, disqualified, discounted. Oh, it's just this, it's just that. And it's like, but again, that's not a solution.
Right. Or just depression. Like I was, when I lived in Vegas and I was working two jobs and I was modeling and I was super busy, I was not in a great relationship. And they were like, oh, you're just depressed. I'm going to put you on an antidepressant. Let me tell you, I worked like a maniac. Like literally, I would forget to eat and I would like work for 10 hours and I would not even notice that I didn't eat or drink water. I'd be like, okay, I'm going to pass out. When's the last time I ate? But it didn't help. It was such a mask. And then they don't tell you, even if you're not an addict, even if you don't have addictive personalities, to wean yourself off of this medication is hardcore. Like it is not cool. You have like I would have vertigo really, really bad. I like the ground would be like up here when I'd be walking. I was like, well, oh my gosh. I would have that sense of like eating tinfoil. It was horrible. But I was like, I know I have to. If it's doing this to me now and I've only been taking it for 2 months, like I can't even imagine if I continue to use it. And that's when I started to research and really dive into ADHD. Why is it that I love having multiple streams of income and multiple projects? And, why do I like to be a serial entrepreneur? And I'm always thinking of new things, and I need to be gardening, and I also need to be like reading a book and writing a book and a journal. And it's my way of dealing with ADHD without being medicated.
So you had mentioned that you're really into microchanneling.
Yeah.
How many sessions do you recommend before you really start to see results? Because I did channeling once,
Okay.
just
Well,
once.
and here's the thing too, with how they're trained is such a huge difference in how they implement those cells, how they do the actual treatment. The woman that I studied under is like their top training associate, and she was absolutely incredible. She went really, really rough. She went really, really deep. But the way she implements the stem cells were incredible. I literally saw a difference. My eyelids were completely lifted because I get hooded eyelids. Next day. Next day, my skin was tighter, my texture was already different next day. Most of my clients will feel tightness and that texture difference. First evening, they're going to feel really tight and hot. Next day, they're going to start to notice plumpness. They're going to start to notice a little bit of the melasma or the sunspots. You're going to start to see them get darker because they're going to actually come to the surface and peel off, which is awesome. But it takes up to a month. So most of my clients, like I'm actually leaving for California on Thursday the 15th, and I have 28 facials.
Oh, wow.
So I have a lot of clients there. I'm really trying to get clients in Southwest Florida. It's just hard because at first it's a trust business. I don't do it out of a salon. I like to come to your house because I want it to be a private, exclusive treatment, but I also don't want you out in the weather. I don't want you out in the sun. I don't want you out in the hot. I don't want you to like be out there sweating or in the sun. So I really just getting people to trust that you're going to come into their house, you're going to give them this incredible treatment. But they do it every like 2 to 3 months. So for me, you're going to notice a difference your first treatment, 100%. So that's why I love it. I love that it does the skin tightening and the smoothing and the texture change. And then, with sunspots, we all get them because we love sun. I have to do my chest quite often because I like That's where I get, it's my German freckles. I'm like freckled out. But the eyelids is incredible. The under eye is incredible when done correctly. But you have to, again, you have to withstand the treatment. It's not comfortable. It doesn't hurt, but it's not a facial. It's a treatment. So you got to expect for it to be uncomfortable. It's kind of like, feels like a soft sandpaper. So it's like under your eye and it's really close to your eyelash and it's very uncomfortable, but it's great. The results from under your eyes or your eyelids, I'll have to send you my before and after. Like day one, when I came back for my after photo, I was like, holy shit, like I have to, whatever this treatment is, I need to buy into it. I got to do this treatment. So,
Yeah, because I only had the one and I wasn't like blown away by it.
yeah,
I'm one of those people where I'm like, I have to see some sort of shift, otherwise I won't go back. I
of
will say
course.
I tried Morpheus. I will never do that again.
Yeah.
That was awful and there was no results.
No, and it's like horrible downtime and it's super invasive. And that's why I love microchanneling. For me, my technique is really specific, but I spend a full hour and I do a square inch 30 to 60 times making, the all of those little microchannels and then I implement the cells and I let that absorb and kind of get into those channels and then let it close up and then I move on to the next area. A lot of people put it all over your face and then they paddle your face and then they put it all over your face again. They're wasting so much of that serum on the
Mhm.
paddle because it's sticking to it. And then it's spreading around and it's not actually going into the channels. So for me, I'm like, it needs to be done properly. So if the people are not trained correctly, you're not going to get the results that you're hoping.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've had fat injection, so fat harvesting and then re-injected into my face, and that was less painful than Morpheus.
Yeah. Oh, Morpheus is horrible. Yeah. I've never done it. I actually did the vampire facial when Kim Kardashian was pretending that she did it because there's no way she did it because it's first, it doesn't do anything besides rip up your face. But like it's your blood because they're tearing the surface of your skin. Like everyone's like, oh, it's because they draw your blood and then they rub it on your face. I'm like, no, no, no. They draw your blood, they spin into gold platelets, and then they're tearing across your skin with the micro needle. So it's tearing all the surface of your skin, and then they're rubbing the platelets into the blood and spraying the blood all over your face. I'm like, it is not good. It was like 10 days I felt like Silence of the Lambs. It was horrible. I was like, oh my God, my face was so raw and so tore up. My husband was really mad at me. He's like, stop doing weird shit to your face. I was like, it was free, babe. She wanted to show me. He's like, okay, can we not do those kinds of things? I'm like, yes, I promise.
I had the Cosmolon peel back in 2018 because melasma, and
Yeah.
got the job done, but that was 3 weeks of what felt like a yeast infection on my face.
Oh God.
Like the
Yeah.
cracking,
Oh, hardcore.
the sore, raw, itchy. Oh my gosh. Like got the job done. Because I went to Peru and got a horrible sunburn in Peru
Uh,
in 2012, and but that didn't do anything. It was like a year later I just had to go to a tanning bed and poof, everything showed up on my face. And
oh,
so I was like, what is this? Finally, because melasma was still kind of like not being talked
yeah.
about back then.
Yeah.
So literally just I tried the Q switch laser, nothing worked. And then at Advanced Aesthetics here, they were like, yeah, that's melasma. We can do Cosmolon. And thankfully, like I just use muesli now and that keeps it
Yeah.
in check. But the Cosmolon peel, it got the job done, but woo.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing. So for me, I advocate because I have a lot of older clients. Most of my clients are like 50s to 70s, um,
Hmm.
because they're the ones that are like, they're really working with what time is doing. And they'll ask me about peels and they'll ask me about lasers and I'm like, no, I would not do any of those things. The first and foremost is that as our skin matures, it doesn't heal the same. So
Right.
it depends on how invasive it is. If it's super invasive, you got to think about like if you bump yourself and it takes forever for your bruise to go away or your cut to go away, and you're going to do that to your face, don't do that to your face. So that's what most of my clients, I'm like, listen, it may take you more of these treatments, but you're not going to have a scar. You're not going to potentially have scarred skin or more creepiness because your skin just didn't heal or it got, inflamed or it got too injured. So that's just, that's one of the scariest things because people push, these crazy invasive peels, these crazy invasive lasers. And I'm like, for mature skin, I'm like, I just wouldn't do it. Like if you're like a young girl and you're just like, okay, I'm going to go for it. I'm in my 30s or my early 40s, fantastic. But I mean, I was like pretty stiff about it. I started doing microchanneling in 2019, and since then I'm like, there's no reason to do anything else.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Because it's really important. There's so many things like even like I had old therapy and then I found out later that it melts the fat under your skin. I'm like, I already am prone to volume loss in my face. Let's not lose more. That's why I did the fat injections because I was also a runner for years and I had these things and I hated it. So we
I
filled it.
got them.
We filled, which is interesting because with filler you can't fill here. It
No,
doesn't look right. But with
no,
fat injections you can fill right here. And I
right.
remember he goes, "Do you want me to do your lips too?" And I was like, "No, I don't. I'm not feeling 100% about the lips." And thank
Right.
God we did not do my lips because this pushed my mouth forward.
Oh my gosh. You're
And
like,
I'm like, if we had
oh,
done
it
my
would look
lips, it would have
crazy.
been too much.
You're like, no, don't do it.
So I'm glad that we only did the nasolabial folds because it filled them in perfectly. Like I don't have those heavy lines now, and then it pushed my mouth forward just enough so that
Yeah.
way the lips look good. But I was like, oh, thank God we didn't do the lips.
Oh yeah. You're like, come on, you should do this. You should know what's happening first.
Yeah. So I love my doctor. I've gone to him since 2008.
Yeah.
Um, I had a catalog injection that ate away at the tissue in my hip, and I had a hole there, like a big indention.
Oh my gosh.
No idea that it was the Kenalog shot. Turns out I didn't have allergies. I'm so glad I got it. Um, and then the nurse, I went in, I was like, can we fill this? And they were like, yeah, with your own fat. And so that was the first time back in 2008, they took fat from my body and re-injected it into my hip. I don't even know which hip it is at this point. Like they did such a
Awesome.
seamless job. So
Yeah.
I'm a fan of fat transfers for sure.
Oh, this tech, yeah. Like I'm here
Like
for it.
people online, they're asking questions about filler. I'm like, no, go fat transfer. You will be
Yeah,
happier. It'll last longer. Like
big
it'll
time.
absorb. You won't have weird migrations. Like so much
Well,
better.
and now that we know and we're seeing more and more studies that it never goes away and it just dissipates into your face, that's terrifying.
I know.
I'm like, oh my gosh. I actually had someone talk me into doing under my eyes because I was like, oh, I'm starting to like get like just hollow under my eyes. And this was probably like 2016 or something, 2015. And I did it. And because I'm so active and my metabolism was so crazy fast at that point still, I got these weird under the skin patches. And you could literally see the patch of filler on the surface of the skin. Like it's like when you get like a shot and it stays on the surface of the skin a little bit, that's what it looked like under my eyes. And it would not go away. And so I had to have it all removed. And of course, they don't like give you your money back. They're like, yeah, sure, we'll remove it for free. I was like, you didn't think that, like, I'm athletic, I work out almost every single day. Like, you didn't think that that would be something you wanted to discuss with me, but it is what it is, I guess. Never again.
Well, I mean, you look good now, so it definitely didn't stay permanently.
No, yeah, I started gua shaing, to be honest. That was my first like experience with just filling that hollowness. And I really just got really repetitive with it. And then I have an under eye cream with the company with Monat that I swear by. It has collagen and it has caffeine in it. Not only does it give you that like nice plumpness, but it just fills in those lines. I
Mm.
swear by it. I'm like, if you're gonna buy a product, buy that and the brow gel and you're good.
Yeah, because like I said, I work out a lot and I lift and then I'm in a cut right now trying to lean out and it's just like it's all here.
Yeah.
You can't really tell here, but the crepiness. I'm like,
You can't tell until you're pulling on your skin.
I know. I know, but it's like it's one of those things where, and I'm kind of doing it deliberately right now. Everyone's like, "Why are you going into a cut before your surgery?" Because I want to lose as much volume as possible. Because if he's going to cut this out, because I'm having
Right.
the buff, it's like I want to make sure that I'm really good to go long term.
Yes. Agree.
So
Yeah.
let's get rid of as much fat as possible.
Yeah.
If this is my new lifestyle of lifting and cutting,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah.
So, is there anything specific with what you represent and what you do? If there's like top five, never do this, and top five, definitely do this, what would that be?
Okay, we'll start with top five never do. I would have to say that a never do, and because people are going to push it, is laser. I don't care if it's a cold laser or a hot laser, both can be damaging to your actual muscle tissue underneath the skin. It might help with the fat on the exterior, but it's going to damage your muscle on the interior, like you were saying, like you were losing density on your face. I'm like a no lasers girl. And one of my best friends is the CEO of a laser company. I'm like, I just never would do it. I get it for people that are very like morbidly obese and they're just like trying to break down that exterior fat layer. I get that. But if you are thinking of doing it on your face, please don't. That's a no for me. I am a no on a peel too. And I know a lot of ladies like it and I know that they like the results. But again, as your skin matures, you're going to start to build a scar tissue as skin. And I've met many beautiful women who swear by peels, and their skin is so smooth and shiny, it doesn't have a single pore, but it's literally scar tissue. So
I
it's
know
not
what
even,
you're talking about, and I
yeah,
don't like that look, and I don't
no,
want to be that woman. But I know
no,
exactly
it's
what you're
not.
talking
I'm
about.
like, it's literally like not skin anymore. Like, I don't know what it is. It's scar tissue. So I'm like a definite no on that. And then, it's hard because, people are up and down about like cold therapy. For me, I just learned about this. Like, yes, it's great to do the like cold plunge. They say, it like does all of these things. However, they say that it minimizes the muscle build. So if you want smaller, tighter muscles, so I think maybe for a woman it's great, but for a man, if men are watching this, but even if you're a woman, if you want to like work on those glute muscles and those quad muscles and you want a little more girth to them, like I like my abs to be a little blockier. The results that they're seeing from doing cold therapy and cold plunges and the cold I can't even think of the ice pump thing that they do on your body. But they say that it's going to make your muscles actually smaller, so and less dense. So for me, those are my three no's. My three yeses are peptides all day, every day, NAD and copper, and then glutathione. I can't live without those three. And then having a great naturally based skincare is so, so important because your skin is the biggest organ of your body. So you should not be putting anything on your skin that you wouldn't eat.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make any sense. Like if you don't know what the ingredients actually mean, why on earth would you put that on your skin? Because it's going to absorb into your system. So just don't do it. And then, gosh, what else for skincare? There's so many like good pluses. I mean, I swear by microchanneling. I'll have to tell you, like every treatment that I've tried, I've done the lasers, I've done the PRP, I've done the M face, I've done all of those things. I've done the microcurrent, I've done all of them. The best results I've ever gotten is from microchanneling, and now I can give it to myself, so I can be a little rougher on myself, and I know what I'm doing. But for me, those are like the three most important: peptides and a great naturally based skincare and microchanneling.
I just made my own skin stuff. So it's castor oil with unrefined coconut oil with powdered cloves. I mix that together to use whole body.
Ah, so castor oil, I'm obsessed with, and I think like I'm not a big tallow fan. I know a lot of people are. I use it like when people send me samples, I'm like, okay, I'll try it, but it's
I
not.
stick with it.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll try it because it's free. I'm just like again, like I'm like, okay, I'm putting beef out on my face. Like I just not into it. But I love castor oil because of its high penetration and because it really absorbs really well. So I recommend that you get a really good castor oil that's in a glass bottle. Don't get a plastic bottle. It needs to be in a glass bottle. But what I do is I put my skincare on first. I let it fully dry, and then I put the castor oil on over it. It pushes whatever you put on your skin in deeper. So you're getting deeper penetration, you're getting better results. So for me, I can't just do the castor by itself because it does like it's super greasy. So I'm going to use a minimal amount of it just to make sure it's pushing in all the goodness of the skincare I'm using.
Yeah, and castor oil is a natural detoxifier as well.
Mhm.
Like it'll get
Well,
in, it'll
it's
pull things out.
antifungal. It has
Yeah.
so many incredible benefits. And, even for my aftercare, for my microchanneling clients, I actually give them a bottle of raw aloe vera juice with a tiny bit of like eucalyptus in it. So it smells good because raw aloe vera does not smell good. But if our grandmas were right, like our grandmas used aloe vera for everything, healing your, your cuts and your burns, and it is one of the best healers. So if you have a sunburn, if you have like damaged skin, that's one of my biggest things. And I actually give a little bottle to each one of my clients, and I make them spray that on as like a toner until the bottle's gone. I'm like, you spray that on your face every single day, multiple times a day. I want you to use it until it's gone.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one laser that I was really excited about, which I did just around my eyes, was CO2. We had to go delicate because I'm a level 3, so we weren't couldn't go too hard because we don't want pigmentation.
Yeah.
But you're not a fan of even CO2.
No. I again, there's not enough studies, but the downside to it is there's a big again chance of scarring. Like you said, you're like, I have to be really careful. And there are so many people that are doing these treatments that they're not well versed, they're not well educated, and it's scary. Just like the people who do fibroblasts. I don't know if you know what that is, but fibroblast is when they make those little burn marks with
Mm.
the pin and literally do it, and it burns little tiny burn marks all over your face. And then it's supposed to, as it crusts up, like those little like injuries are supposed to kind of like make your skin tighter and kind of get closer together. But I've seen so many women with horrible scars because of it, because like one part will heal different than another part, and then they're stuck with this different textured skin, this different colored skin. I'm like, just don't do it. I actually have fibroblast, but I do it for people's moles, and I do it for any kind of like when you get malia, like right under your eye, that's from heavy use of collagen. You'll get like a overproduction of collagen, and that's why you'll get those little like white dots under your eyes. And I'll use that little fibroblast to just pop it out, and then it goes away. So that's the only reason I use it.
Interesting. Yeah, like I said, I've seen the women that I'm like, okay, I want to look like her. I don't want to look like her. What is she doing? What is she doing? I want to make sure that I'm not. And I don't like that like glossy, stretched look that women get with age, where like you said, there's no pores, but like the woman today at the place I got the biomagnetic therapy, she had that look, and it just looks like, and then it looks here like it's just taunt, like it's
Like a
all,
mask.
yeah,
Yeah.
it looks weird. I'm like, I don't want that. Whatever they're doing, I don't want that. No.
Here's the point. We want to age gracefully. I want to still look like I am a woman in my 40s. I just want to look like a woman in my 40s who takes really freaking good care of herself. That's what I want to look like. I'm not trying to stop the clock. I'm not, although it would be glorious, the fountain of youth would be amazing. But again, I don't like, I got to age with my husband. He's 50. I can't look like this, this strange person because the more stuff you do to your face, the older you look. And I'm sorry, ladies, like that get crazy with their like fillers and their Botox and all those things. I'm like, you are going to age yourself like 10 years by the time you're in your 40s and 50s if you start too early because your face won't be the same unless you dissolve it all.
Well, what makes me really sad is I see it's like it's almost like a novelty, and you see girls in their 20s and it's like, why are you touching your skin?
Ah,
You're ruining it because it thins it out prematurely. That's like the worst thing that girls could do is be like have this. I mean, a 10-year-old girl should not have a skincare routine.
not unless she has acne. So I'm like, I'm a
Right.
firm believer. Like if your little one, she should have a moisturizer. I started, using a good moisturizer when I was like 15. My grandma was like, you cannot use body lotion on your face. I
Right,
was
but like you shouldn't be like, I'm sorry, but 25-year-old girls, yeah, I mean if you have, bad acne, that's one thing, but if you
yeah.
just have great skin, what are you doing?
Oh no. I mean the girls at my boys' school have like full faces of contour. I'm like, you're 13, 14, 15. Why do you have a full face of contour? Like you should be in love with your skin. This is the best it will ever be.
Well, I had a client who was younger. She's 25 now, but at 22, she was putting filters on her Instagram. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Stop. You're going to hate yourself later because you're going to need them later.
Well, and you're also going to have a beauty standard that is so skewed from what you really
Totally.
like. Like, I love filters. I'm not going to lie. I use filters because a lot of times I don't want to put makeup on, and I'm like, it's so easy. I could get out of bed and do so and film some content. And then I realized that TikTok actually has literally the best front camera. It uses all of your pixels that your camera has available to you. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like you don't even need a filter. It's incredible. I was like, okay, I'm filming every single video from now on, makeupless, filterless on TikTok because the camera is so great. And I'm trying to be an advocate for that for young girls. I actually want to start a girls' church group with their moms for that younger teenage where they're so stuck in social media hell where they believe that they have to be at this certain
Hmm.
crazy beauty standard that they're so insecure at such a young age. Like never in a million years. I started modeling at 5 years old, but I was never worried about makeup. I was never worried about my hair. Like I loved having like spiral perm because it was like the in thing, and I had the big high bangs when that was cool. But it was never like I never wore makeup. So even in high school, I'm like, I think I wore mascara, maybe
I
some
wore
eye.
mascara only until I was like 37.
It's and your skin
Only
is
because
thank
I don't know how to wear makeup, but
your skin is thanking you, and I don't, I feel sad that a lot of little girls, they don't have that reinforcement. Their mom isn't like, you are so beautiful. If you put makeup on, like you're wasting your natural beauty. Everyone should love you for exactly who you are, and you need to love yourself for how beautiful you actually are, because the filters are just, they're such a camouflage. And it's great for people who are like, okay, I don't want to put makeup on today, so I'm going to use
100%. No, I definitely love those TikTok filters because I'm like, I am not feeling it today. Oh, I don't have to. Let me just throw my hair
Yep.
through this filter on.
Right?
Boom. Content done. Move on.
Yeah. Like I always tell everyone, I'm like, since I did my makeup today for this, I was like, okay, I got to batch a bunch of content because you can't waste a face because I know I won't be putting another one on for a while. This is
Totally. And yeah, but I've seen your videos without makeup on Instagram. You look gorgeous. So it's definitely, it's important, I think, to help those younger girls because, like I said, those standards, nobody lives that way. It's all behind a camera. So to presume that you need to show up that way in reality and look that it's not healthy. But I mean, we grew up with, at least I know my generation was all about like the body dysmorphia and the eating disorders and so, I think every generation kind of has its thing, unfortunately, but I'm still like just constantly thinking I'm fat. Like I'm 43 years old and I still feel like I need to lose 5 pounds all the time, all the time. It's just like something that never leaves my brain.
well, same. Yeah. Well, and also the beauty standards of like living in Las Vegas. That's why I want to write a book. I want to talk about like that world, going from being a model my entire life and then working in in the service industry and then now to be like a social media kind of influencer, what's expected of you, like that beauty standard and what people expect you to look like at all times is a lot.
Hmm.
But, it takes some grounding. It takes a strong family value and a strong, independence and a strong like value in healthy living because if you could get sucked in very, very easy. So, yeah, that's one of the hardest things, but we're gonna do our best. I grew up as Cindy Crawford was like, the pinnacle of beauty and she just had a regular body. And that's why I loved it. I was like, she's not like this wafy super ultra thin person who I have to look like Kate Moss. And when
Hmm.
I started modeling, they were like, you need to lose 20 pounds. And I was 120 pounds, 5'9" when I first started modeling when I moved to Vegas. And I was like, if I lose 20 pounds, I'll literally have nothing. I'll have no boobs, I'll have no butt. I will just be like skin. They're like, yeah, that's what they want you to be. They want you to be like a hanger, and then you can go to New York. And I'm like, no, I'm like, I will, what's a different kind of model? Is there like a fitness type of model or a bathing suit type of model? Like, I like to eat. I like to eat and I like to work out. So I'm an athlete I grew up being an athlete. So I'm like, my body's not built like that. And I don't like to not eat. I like to eat.
Totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
the environment doesn't help because I've only ever lived Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and South Florida, and none of those environments are conducive to like.
Yeah, you and I had the same path. Well, I grew up in Colorado, so no one really, everyone was like healthy, but like no one cared what you like look like. No, like people weren't in a bikini because it was barely warm there.
Yeah.
Like you
No,
did a lot of outdoor things, but yeah, no, I didn't worry about my exterior until I moved to Vegas. So
yeah, no, growing up in Vegas and like being in the industry, cocktailing, and then, like I said, moving to Los Angeles for a couple of years. The only caveat was that I belonged to the yoga community. So they watered down some of those standards, but it's still, you're not far from West Hollywood, Santa Monica, and like all of that pretense. And then you go to South Florida and it's a different beauty standard, but again, there's that expectation of all of it. And
yeah,
so it's just hard to shed it, and then there's the reconciliation of, okay, I do want to look and feel my best. And people will criticize and say, oh, well, who are you trying to impress? Nobody. I have to look at myself in the mirror.
yeah, yeah.
Like I have to
And
contend
that's
with me.
and we still and will always will because of the standard we lived most of our adult life. Really, I mean, if you think about, all your 20s and 30s into your 40s, you know, uh, living at a standard of beauty all of those years, you're like, it's hard not to just be like so critiquing of yourself and so down on yourself and so expectant of like a certain beauty standard. But at some point, you have to be like, okay, listen, age happens, and now we're just going to do what is going to help us age the most gracefully and share that with younger people because that is our legacy. Like, our legacy is now is, you don't have to live at that beauty standard. Like, love on yourself, love on your skin, take care of yourself because it's the only skin you have. And it's going to get a lot harder as you get older if you don't take care of it early.
Absolutely. Well, I really appreciate this conversation. It was
Sure.
nice talking to you. And where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Amber Nicole Miller 2, and Nicole is spelled with an H, so it's AmberNicholeMiller 2. I know it's long, sorry. My TikTok is Amber Nicole Ortiz. I'm just now building that, and those are the two best places you can find me.
And as far as like treatments go, so you're Orange County and then Florida?
Yep. So I do treatments in Orange County, in Florida, and I also do them in Vegas because I have a girlfriend who owns a spa there. So
Okay.
she's like, anytime you want to come in, we can make some appointments as well.
Well, perfect, because I'm in Vegas.
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny. I probably will be moving back to Florida. I lived there for a couple of years, but like I came back to Vegas and my natural doctor was like, no, like Vegas said goodbye to you. Because I was having all these random like health things. And he was like, yeah, the environment doesn't support you. You need to go back to Florida. That's where your energy was better. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's a
Vegas is
long way
really,
to go, doc.
yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I miss Vegas. I miss the food. I miss the fast pace. I miss like the ability to make money very easily. But I don't miss the way I felt there. I
Yeah.
felt dry. I felt overwhelmed. I felt like high anxiety. I had horrible allergies, like so bad that I had to take two Claritin a day to even get through the
Mm.
day. Horrid. Florida is still growing on me. It's very hard. It's the slowest I've been because I went from Vegas to Huntington Beach, which felt like a stop, but it wasn't compared to coming to Cape Coral. And now I'm like, oh, we're dead stop now. We're like, there's nothing to do. So, you better figure out how to make some friends and do mom stuff.
Yeah, my tribe is mostly Fort Lauderdale, Hallandale, Miami area, which is like I'm used to that pace, you
Yeah,
know. It resonates in terms of like the Vegas energy, but my body just did so much better.
yeah,
And in fact, it's funny because like I came back last spring and then I decided to do bangs again, and then I decided to stop doing bangs, and they just won't grow. And I found out it's because I'm in the desert and I decided to grow them out in the middle of winter. And apparently, when you do that, and my body's not recalibrated to the desert
yeah.
because I was in the tropical weather for 2.5 years. And so, I mean, at 40, my hair grew 6 additional inches just from
Wow.
being in Florida. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I guess maybe I should go back.
I know people are like, don't you hate the humidity? I'm like, actually, I love it. I'm like, it's so good for your skin, so good for your hair. I'm here for it.
Oh yeah, like I said, I couldn't believe how fast my hair grew. So things to keep in mind, but anyway, yeah, it was a pleasure having you today, Amber.
Thank you for having me.
And
Like,
yeah, I guess until next time.
yes, ma'am. Send me whatever link and I'll share it.
Absolutely. Take care.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great day.